Alright, Jordan, you wanted this piece of shit off my lip? Here you go. Hope you're happy, Jordan. Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile. Now, basically, this movie is supposed to be the Ted Bundy biopic, but told in the perspective of his wife, Liz. I'll talk more about that later. But basically, this tells the story of the trial of Ted Bundy. Mainly showing how evil and conniving he was, yet charming and manipulative. That's pretty much what the movie is. If you want to get more of a feel of who Ted Bundy was, go watch the documentary on Netflix. By the way, weird coincidence, this movie also premiered on Netflix, so there's that bit of trivia. It's quite well made, actually. Now a thing I like to do is, it's actually quite well made. A weird passion I have, is really more a weird hobby I have, is that I like to study serial killers. Not study who they are, I mean study their cases and everything. I studied Arlene Wardros. I studied Arlene Wardros in 2014, and later, I think late 2018, I studied Jeffrey Dahmer. But I've not really studied Ted Bundy, so I kind of went into this movie not knowing that much about him. I kind of just knew he was an infamous serial killer, and that was it. But from this movie, you get the idea of who he was, and how evil he was, and how charming he was in a way. This is a damn good movie, actually. Is it as good as My Friend Dahmer? No. My Friend Dahmer is a movie that has no flaws whatsoever, and it's completely perfect. And it's a movie you can dissect again and again. A video I'm dying to do is a study on this movie. Let's go back to this movie. Let's talk about the actors. Zac Efron kills it in this movie, no pun intended. But he nails all the sides of Bundy. He just works in this movie so well. He shows the charming side, he shows the manipulative side, he shows just the nice guy he was. He shows kind of the average Joe that Bundy was. He was an evil and horrible man, but on the surface he was just a normal guy with great looks and charming personality. Zac Efron just kills it, and there's not a moment in this movie where I said, that's Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy. He encapsulated this performance, and I think he knocked it out of the park. He was a very believable man. He was extremely believable, and I have to give that performance so much credit. And also the actress who played Liz, she did a very extremely good job. Again, this movie says that it's about her. Again, I'll get in later. But she did an incredible job. There's moments in this movie where even though that she's the smaller star, there's moments in this movie where she overshadows Zac Efron. And she does an incredible job showing the sides of her character as well. Through the progression of her character in this movie is done perfectly. You just see all that damage she has because she absolutely loves this man who is a complete monster and a horrible person. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people, and I don't blame them for saying that, but for doing it, but we kind of are very narrow-minded. We're very narrow-minded when it comes to serial killers. Is that when we see these people do horrible acts of murder and mutilation and just horrible things, we just kind of immediately say, he's a piece of shit, they need to die right now. We don't take into the feelings of how they feel or how the people around them feel. I mean, these serial killers have wives and families and friends who are probably torn apart at the idea that that their loved one is this horrible monster. And this actress does an amazing job of portraying that. And she's amazing. And I love that we get to see that damage in this movie. Because that's something we don't really see a lot. If My Friend Dahmer is the movie about how, if My Friend Dahmer is showing the path of a serial killer, then this movie is just showing the aftermath. And the aftermath is damage that will stay with people forever. Not only for the victim's family, but the killer's family as well. Not only for the victim's loved ones, but the killer's loved ones, which is something we never see in a movie. And I will give this movie tons of credit for showing that side of the story and not being narrow-minded about it. And yes, I remember when the first trailer for this movie came out and everyone was losing their shit. Because in the trailer, I will admit, the trailer had a really Tarantino lighthearted vibe to it. That might have been a mistake of the editor, because that's not really what the movie is. But a thing people didn't like about it is that, since, it shows Zac Efron being smooth with the girls and being charming and having a girl say, I might not think he did it. He's good looking. And people saying, they're sexualizing a serial killer. They're not. Because if you're going to tell this story, you're going to have to show that side of him. Because how do you think he got all those women to approach him? He's an extremely charming man. He was good with women. He pulled off his persona so well. He had a persona how do you think he got those women to even get around him? Is because he had that charismatic attitude that lured women towards him. So therefore, you have to show that side of him, because that's how he got his victims in the first place. And of course, a thing you have to realize about these movies about serial killers is that you can't glorify them or give them any kind of you can't glorify them and you can't make them something they're not. That's the reason why everyone is so hesitant about making movies about serial killers, because people are afraid that we're glorifying them or we're giving them unneeded attention, because they're horrible people like that, horrible things. I totally agree with that. That doesn't mean we shouldn't make them, though. I think we should make them as long as they're told from a different angle than what we have seen so far. The angle we've seen it is just, he murdered people, he's a son of a bitch, he needs to die. That's the only angle we saw. But you see more of the story, and if you really want to get the whole picture, let me rephrase that, you're not going to get the entire picture, but you'll get a lot of the picture with the documentary on Netflix. But the point is, though, is that this movie focuses more on the case than it does the actual murders. To be honest, you really never get to see the murders until the end. Not a spoiler, I'm just saying. That's just, if you're expecting that, you're not going to get it till the end. And that's not something I really wanted to see, but really, it was mainly used to show that powerful ass ending. This movie has one of the most powerful endings I've seen in a long time. So another thing I will give it tons of credit for. The acting is spot on, it's great, there's tons of great actors in this film. I like the acting. I think some of the best scenes in the movie is the scenes that really kind of revolve around Ted in the courtroom or Ted in the prison. I just love whenever he was plotting that escape. It was just so well done, and another great sign, another shade of the canvas shown. But the courtroom scenes are by far the best part of the movie, for me at least, because they're extremely entertaining. They give you tons of shades of the characters, and they're all around well done. And I didn't really get this. My thoughts of Ted Bundy was that he was just kind of this normal average guy who was a serial killer and that was it. But no, you see how big his ego was, because this is a man who went to law school and he refused to have a lawyer. He wanted to represent him fucking self, dude. And I just love seeing that side. Is the fact is that these people just have as big as ego as any other celebrity. I mean, in this movie, he says the line, "I'm more popular than Disneyland." That's fucking crazy. And that's kind of what I get out of this. And the scene where where the court's going on, and all the girls are saying how dreamy he is, was so well done. Because you guys can't, and you might say, well, why do they say that? Because he's a killer. He was proven he has all the evidence stockpiled on him. Well, yes, true, but he's a horrible, disgusting man, but on the surface, he's a charming, likable man. So that's why the case went so long, because no one believed that a guy like him would do such horrible things. And I think that was extremely well done. It's great commentary, and I just love it. And this movie, again, has the ending is the main feel I get of the movie. But it's all around great movie. I like it. The acting's perfect. I love the ending. It's all around a good movie. The problem is, though, is that there's one flaw that I have with it. It has an identity crisis. Is that I don't I don't want to see the murders. I just want to see what she's going through, and you do see it in the movie. The problem is that we don't get the full thing until we don't really get that movie. The problem is that movie's not really shown throughout. The beginning is kind of her story, and then the ending is her story. Definitely her story, but the rest of it is just Ted, though. Like, it's just Ted's story. There's a large amount of screen time where his wife is not seen. We just kind of see Ted and his trouble with the police, his trouble with lawyers, which is well done. But if you're gonna say this movie's about the wife, then you're lying. It's not about the wife. It's about Ted and the wife. And the wife is a little part of the movie that really we don't get to see much of. And that's something I wanted to see more in this movie. Yeah, you saw how damaged she was and how much heartache she was going through. But throughout the movie we kind of see snippets of it. You know, her crying, drinking, smoking, watching the televised court cases. It's good. It's well done, but I needed more of it, though. If you're going to say that this movie's about the wife, then make it about the wife. It's not about the wife. It's about both of them. And again, the wife had a little part of it. She's an important part of the movie, and that's one of the things that probably saved the movie, in my opinion. And she's probably by far the best part of the movie, but it's not about the wife, though. And it's not as bad as Us, because, oh yeah, I haven't released the Us review on this channel yet. I will soon. The problem I had with Us is that the entire movie's unfocused as hell and it has tons of tones. The tone of this movie's it's fine, but the problem is it kind of loses focus on really what the movie was trying to be. It has a hard time finding its foot, and that might not be a directorial problem. I think it's more of a writing problem. The point is, though, it's a good movie. I recommend it, and I recommend doing what I did. I saw this movie and then saw the documentary right after, so I got a little more so I kind of got the fictionalized information, then I got the actual information. So in the end, I'm going to give this movie a B. It's a good movie. It's a good time. I'll see you guys next week. I'm probably just going to re-upload Us and fuck off. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys subscribe, like, whatever. See you guys next time. I have to go to graduation.